So take it away, boys. Dave Mailman and Nick Carroll. Round number 2, heat number 1, underway.
Kablam. Well, thanks a lot, Snips and Dino. Well, what a dramatic day this has turned out to be, from a morning of mushy, messy, flow rider type junk on the outside of the Mundaka sandbar. We have come to beautiful, heavy 6-foot waves pouring around the corner out of the Bay of Biscay. Really, really testing hard surf here. And right now, first heat of round 2 in the red jersey, Kelly Slater getting caught inside and getting a bit of a pasting for his troubles. And Cory Arrambide,
a 16-year-old Californian injury wild card. That's right, all the way out of Southern California. Team Billabong has just set the record this year for the most ever victories on the ASP North America Pro Junior Circuit. Has earned himself a wild card into the event due to the injury of Troy Brooks and his great performances on the junior contest circuit in California up against the 7-time world champ. Kind of a little trial by fire here, huh, Nick?
I guess so. Well, I think both these surfers made a dash down from France this morning. Got themselves caught up in a bit of traffic on the way. Of course, it's a Saturday here, which I guess it means there's a lot of people out off and running and stoked to be perhaps coming even down to Mundaka to watch the event. And that meant that Kelly and Cory were both kind of like, waiting it out in the traffic streams in Guernica just up the road, and managed to get here in time, though, and they're both changed and jerseyed up and out in the water right now. Cory sitting out there holding priority currently, with Kelly just cruising out and paddling up next to him.
Which is the reason that we didn't see Cory in his round 1 heat against Bruce Irons and Chris Ward.
Totally.
That would have kind of put him, got things going a little bit for the young guy.
Oh, wouldn't it have just done that?
That was one of the best heats of the morning in my eyes, and that would have kind of gotten him into the rhythm of
I think that's
the WCT. But here we go, his first ever heat against Kelly Slater.
Totally. And Dave, you mentioned that Bruce heat. I guess for me that's where this ocean really became a living thing.
Turned back into the legendary surf spot we've all
absolutely. We really have the bulk of the swell beginning to hit now, coming in from the west-northwest. The wind still a little bit funny, causing a little bit of a bump on the face of the first 1 or 2 waves in a set, but there's solid 5 or 6 waves in every single set that comes around the corner right now out of the Bay of Biscay here onto the Mundaka sandbar. You can see the rip has pretty much vanished now. The tide has turned and is beginning to rise and pushing a little bit more water onto the sandbar. It will, though, I think, remain rideable for at least an hour longer, maybe longer,
because if the swell is actually filling in, even though we do have those big tidal swings today, it could grow with the incoming tide. So if we're lucky, we could get through maybe up to the end of heat number 4 of round 2.
Well, that's right.
See in the water right now with 21 minutes and 40 seconds remaining is heat number 1 with our 7-time world champ Kelly Slater, who missed his round 1 heat up against our injury wild card 16-year-old Cory Arrambide out of Southern California.
Well, via the Basque Country, right? That's a Basque name, Arrambide.
Yes, exactly. His ancestors are from the Basque Country. Once again, the second largest population of Basque people outside of Euskadi, the Basque Country here in the northeast corner of Spain, is in California. They brought their fishing traditions and wine-growing traditions over to California, and here we go, Cory Arrambide, and putting the pressure on the 7-time world champ from the get-go, Nick.
Wham, straight into the barrel there, Cory. Getting a nice little tube section. He's going to race very fast here and pull into the second section, but I think that time he's going to be
not
clear.
going to make it out of that one.
Yeah, you could see, actually.
No fear.
He had no fear. He attacked that wave, but you could see at the outset of that wave, Kelly made a little paddle move back toward Cory just to kind of like say, hey, you better go this way because I'm on it otherwise, and tempted him into it. But Cory didn't kind of like let that fluster him at all. He just took off, pulled straight in, pulled into the second section. There'd be a minus score on that wave, I'd imagine.
If he'd come out of that second tube section, it could have been more than minor, but unfortunately for Cory, good way to start. Good little barrel from the get-go, taking a page out of Jeremy Flores' book, actually. I've seen some of the Flores wild card heats against Mick Fanning and Kelly Slater last year and this year in Hossegor. Quite a thing to watch, and maybe the world champ soft spot is for the teenagers.
The grommet rookie. The grommet rookie who he doesn't know and gets under his belt. I don't know about that. We'll wait and see. This
He's beat Jeremy every time he's surfed against him. Usually not a problem. I'm sure it won't be a problem here, but...
Looks like Kelly's going to go for his second wave right now. Up and riding. Kelly Slater in the red. Goes up, quick flying turn off the top of the wave. Out into the higher part of the shoulder of the wave now. Kelly beginning to work up ahead of steam as he heads down the line. Off the top, really nice floater. And he finishes that wave with a quick kick out. Not a bad sort of, I guess, wax warmer, that wave. Kelly did have a ride at the very beginning, but it wasn't really worth much. It just got him caught inside on the next set. That'll be his first decent scoring ride at this heat.
Pretty good way to start. Looks like all the golf up in Senyos has definitely kept Kelly in rhythm. And just been handed the rest of our round 2 heat sheet. Coming up next will be Taylor Knox and Jode Collazo. Tom Whitaker here, Tarina Tufa, Dean Morrison, Luke Egan. That looks like to be our first 4 heats of round 2. And if we're lucky, big set coming out the back.
Brutal wave here. And here we go. Cory pulls up and into this thing. It's a nasty, evil-looking wave. He goes up really high. Little snap there. Cory Arrambide just kicks out there, and I think he's probably going to want to go for priority here. Yeah, he's going to make his dash for priority, realising there wasn't really going to be a big score coming out of that wave for him. Of course, now we've launched into man-on-man, Dave. This is
priority does come into play.
It's a different mode of competition, isn't it?
Completely different than the 3-man heats in our first round. In round 2, priority does come into play, so the first surfer to catch a wave actually leaves priority to the other surfer. In this case, Cory caught the first wave, giving Kelly Slater priority, which means that Kelly has his choice of the waves that roll through the lineup. We're in a point break situation here, so it's really easy. There's not multiple peaks. Kelly just sits out the back and waited for the wave he wanted, and which scored him a 7.17, as a matter of fact. Pretty good way to start. And then left Cory with priority. Cory took a wave, decided to kick out. And here's the replay of Kelly's wave. Is 7.17. Take it away, Nick.
Okay, well, you can see here Kelly's still really adjusting to being in the lineup, I think. He just rolls his turn off. Looks like a rad move, but you know what? It's pretty standard for Kelly. He comes out of it without any loss of control whatsoever. And you can see here, too, he's just like feeling it out, just going, well, what's this wave got in store for me? What's Mundaka behaving like today? Very different to a couple of weeks ago when Kelly was down here getting shacked off his brain.
First day of the waiting period for the Pro France.
Sick, but he does look very casual and smooth on his board. You can tell when Kelly's riding one of these pintail type boards that he prefers in conditions over 4 foot. That one looks like it might have been a Simon Anderson board. He's got that beautiful smooth rounded turn in the top of the wave. Couple of good moves there. He's in a 7.17, I think a fairly high score for that ride. But still, he racks it up, and Cory now behind him, up and riding. Boom, goes for the air, comes unstuck, coming down.
Nice.
And, geez, Dave, you know what, there is a really major set approaching the contest site right now. Possibly the most solid set of the day so far. Man, I don't know if either surfer can see it yet. Kelly's kind of stroking himself a little bit wide.
That it's out there.
And now, boom, he's going to see it and go, oh, my God, here it comes.
Definitely the wave of the day so far. The biggest set that we've seen. The swell that was supposed to hit last night is now filling in.
Kelly's having
incoming tide. Ooh, and Kelly's going to leave the first one for the grommet.
I reckon that what Kelly did there was just to let the first one clean the face off. And here's a really big heavyweight, probably the biggest one so far of the day.
We've seen in the contest.
Is Kelly going to go? I don't know if this would be a smart move. The thing's just
closing out down the line.
Rocketing off
the
down
water.
The line
Photographers, you can't see them, but they're stroking for the channel, as well as the boat.
Man, that was a heavy wave. That one just moved right through, and neither competitor wanted a part of that thing. It just motored off down the line. I think if you'd been sitting a bit wider, it would have
surprise, huh?
Man, if you'd been sitting wider, that would have been an incredible scoring wave.
Definitely, but there was no reason for them to be sitting wider because we haven't seen anything even close to that big yet today.
Wow!
And this more the size of the set waves from earlier, all sandy in the face from that last set that just rolled through. How big do you think that one was, Nick?
That
5 foot?
Solid 6 foot set, that one, yeah. Heavy.
Definitely.
And it gets thick on that sandbar, doesn't it? You know.
Well, it's breaking right now with the incoming tide, maybe in 3 feet of water, 4 feet of water. I mean, you can still see the sand sucking up out of the tube in the face. So there's still not a whole lot of water out there. It just goes square. Looks like.
Well, I think there's another set approaching now, David. That it's a slightly smaller set of waves.
Maybe
There's still a fair bit of
cleaner,
heft in it, and we'll see what Kelly and Cory make of this set of waves approaching right now.
Well, Kelly with priority, sitting a little bit farther out the back.
Yeah, he won't be slow to throw that priority way right now. He's got a 7-point ride. He's going to want to go a bit higher than that on his next ride.
Yeah, his first wave is 0.83, so Kelly in the lead with a one-wave score basically of 7.17. Cory needing 4.51, and we're about to go over to GT as Kelly Slater takes off.
Dude, triathlon all the way. Are we all right? Okay. You want to check, Patterson?
Next wave of the set as it roars off down this sandbar. Clearly, Dave, things are shiftier out there in the lineup than they appear from up here. You saw that wave cap behind Kelly. I was wondering if he was paying much attention to that on the takeoff, because it looked like the wave capped and lifted behind him a bit, and it did seem to push him down the face a bit further than he would have liked to have been.
There's kind of a double up out there that sometimes it lets you into the wave nice and early, and other times it gives you that push from behind that you really don't want, and you end up jumping out into the void. And let me see, Kelly, a 107 on his last wave, so he's left Cory out the back with priority. 13 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, so we are over halfway through the heat. Cory Arrambide needing a 4.75. We're going to cut over to GT.
All right, I'm standing here with Pedersen Rosa. Pedersen, we lost you there about halfway through the heat. I'm like, what happened to Pedersen? But it all worked out. Where'd you go? What was going on?
When I paddling my first wave, I used my small board, 510, too loose, in the tail. So I need to change. I come to the rocks to change my board, get my big board. No big board, my medium board, 6-1. And back to that, I have a nice, good waves and make the hit.
Well, that 6-1 seems to work. How are those floaters, brother? You were like riding the roof.
Yeah, a long time ago, I looked a lot at Rich Collins, those guys, Martin Potter, to do big floaters. And I think it's my special too. And I make anything to get through. I need good result here in Spain. I'm sitting, I'm number 31, so I need good result to back my top 27, and I have my qualification for next year.
Well, congratulations on this heat win, and it is one step closer to you requalifying. Must be tough being on that bubble.
It's hard, really hard, But you have to keep your mind fresh, keep your mind believing, you know the way to do the street, the road. So I believe in myself, I believe in me. I still a couple, 3 contests here in Mundaka, one in Brazil, another in pipe. I surf good in Brazil, I surf good pipe too. So if the waves come, I'm going to make it for sure. I do my best.
Well, congratulations and best wishes to you on the rest of your year.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, also, could you imagine, you're in your teens, you're hanging out in France with a couple of your buddies, you get a phone call, hey, guess what, Troy Brooks pulls out, and you're serving against Kelly Slater. You got 45 minutes to get here. Pretty big deal for Cory Arrambide out in the water right now. Missed his first heat this morning, but now he's in the water against Kelly Slater, and drove all the way down here and just made it in time. Apparently record time, about 2 hours from here to France where Cory was. Now, earlier, if you guys have been following the event, pan this way, Ash, if you can. And earlier, if you've been following the event, you might have noticed how low the tide was. Well, now the tide is coming in, so the sandbar is quickly eroding here. I was just talking to event director Mike Parsons, and he's thinking we might be able to get 2 or 3 more heats, but as the swell seems to be surging a bit, well, who knows? Hopefully we'll get 3 or 4 heats. But anyways, the waves are getting better. The tide is getting higher. Kelly Slater's in the water. Kind of a big deal. Let's send it back to 2 other big deals, Nick Carroll and Dave Mailman.
Thank you very much, GT. Great interview with Pedersen Rosa, setting the roof on fire of those barrels in that last heat. And now at the back, Nick, straight back to the action with Kelly Slater.
Yeah, it looks like Kelly's taken away from under Cory's guard there. Cory was holding priority. Kelly just went under him and just got a smaller wave Cory's paddling for one on the outside right now. It looks like a full-on drainer on the sandbar. He's up and riding.
Yes, it is straight in the barrel. Doesn't look like it's going to come out, though, as
wasn't
Kelly
coming out of that
Slater
one.
kicks out on the inside. And, did Cory's board just come up in 2 pieces?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Yes,
it certainly does look like he might have taken his board down, and that's bad luck from the kid from California.
That's a shocker.
He was willing to put it on the line with these waves, and he was pulling into tubes and carrying on, and unfortunately it didn't pay off for him with that one. It seems like he's lost his equipment, and there's only just under 10 minutes remaining.
Having said that, he only needs a 4.75 or a little bit more than that, a 5-point ride, but no caddy in the water there for Cory, so he's in a bit of a sticky situation, Nick.
He is. Well, we saw in the first round Jared House pull out the impossible with a brilliant sprint to the harbour, a sprint swim to the harbour and exchanging his surfboard and getting back out there and winning the heat. I don't know if he can pull that off. The situation is quite different here. Cory's cruising his way onto the inside, down into the hole inside the main sandbar here at Mundaka. Jet skis coming out toward him.
But they're not allowed. They can't only to take him back out to the lineup. I don't think they're allowed to have jet ski assist here. If he takes the jet ski, he is effectively out of the heat.
That's right. At the same time, this most incredible set wave is roaring through the outside sandbar. Look at that.
And Kelly paddling as hard as he can. He's not going to. Is he going to look at this inside section?
Tripping.
Yes, he is.
This is a board snapper. Smash. He's out of that one.
I thought he was going to keep paddling because there's a few more waves coming in this set, and they're absolutely reeling down the sandbar.
Oh, it's crazy.
Everyone who wanted to know why we got things underway this morning in rather mediocre conditions, it's because we had a pretty good hunch that they'd turn into something like this, but it's always a surprise when it does. And look at that perfection, Nick.
Yeah, wouldn't you all love to be out there right now? No, I would be.
I know you do.
There's only one guy out there right now, Kelly Slater. He's by himself. There's about, 8
minutes remaining.
Yeah, not
he's
very
loving
long.
it.
He's probably thinking to himself, well,
8 minutes of heaven.
Hey, man, this is my warm-up time right now,
Exactly.
This is my chance to get a 10 because I'm sitting out here by myself, and maybe there'll be an epic set wave
And
come.
the lines are still coming and coming, Nick. These are 5, 6, 7 wave sets now, so that swell is really filling in. And as GT was saying, hey, we might be able to get through another 4 or 5 heats this afternoon if we're lucky. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep your fingers crossed and keep thinking good thoughts. And we're definitely not going to stop surfing until this place goes completely flat this afternoon. It looks like it's far from doing that right now, Nick.
It sure does, yeah. Well, just
good tidings for the surfers in the upcoming heats.
For sure, they'd be getting jazzed right now. They probably were thinking they were in for a pretty gloomy day, and now things have really, really turned around. Now, coming up in the next few heats, there'll be some interesting ones. Taylor Knox versus Hoda Colasso. Well, Taylor, fantastic surfer, obviously. I mean, who needs
best season ever?
Yeah, we don't need to introduce Mr. Knox. He's been around for a long time, and
Captain California, the Carlsbad kid.
You bet, and he's really he's having a second childhood on tour at the moment.
Completely. He's frothing. He's always got a smile on, except for when he loses. But up until that point, it's always positive vibrations with Taylor.
Oh, very much.
And Jorge Collazo, the local boy.
Well,
Billabong team rider, 2001 world grommet runner-up behind his good buddy Goni Zubizarreta. Okay, now this is going to be interesting, Nick, because they've got him a new board and they're taking him out the back on the jet ski.
Well, I think the deal is that they've got to sort of drop him off at some point, and then he paddles into the lineup by himself, and then I think he might be able to stay clean of any kind of like scammy. I got too much help from the jet ski type ruling.
Yeah, well, either way, I don't know. I think they're, Perry Hatchett is definitely telling Nuno what to tell them as far as rules are concerned over the beach microphone. So,
in the meantime, Kelly Slater sits out the back
asking
by
for the
himself.
situation. His last wave of 5.33, so Cory now needing a 9.0 with 5 minutes 40 seconds remaining.
Man,
it's never over till the fat lady sings, but.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, I don't reckon it's over at all, man. Like, if another one of those insane set waves come through, and it's perfectly likely that they will, it seems like the pulses every 4 minutes is a good set, and if Cory took off deep, and he got shacked all the way across that outside sandbar, you'd be looking at like a 9.5, 10-point ride,
For sure.
We will see what...
He can do it, exactly. Don't want to... turn out the lights before the heat's actually over, but Kelly Slater definitely in a better position right now than Cory Arrambide.
Undoubtedly.
But Cory, for a 16-year-old injury wildcard alternate, quite a showing for his first ever WCT heat against our 7-time world champion out of Florida, Mr. Kelly Slater. For Kelly, this is just another day at the office. For Cory, little trial by fire.
And, of course, as in, whenever there's a heat with Kelly in this event, people are going to be asking us, can Kelly get his 8th world title with a victory here at Mundaka? And the answer to that question is yes, he can. If he can win this event, he'll pretty much have it tied up with a bow on top, and will be carrying an 8-ball around for the rest of his life, I'd imagine.
And then maybe trying for the 10-pin bowling after that. Knock down 10 titles in a row. Or not in a row, obviously, but over the course of his career, that would be another feat. And that's the big question out there. If he can win 8, will he stick around or will he drop off tour? Rumor is pretty much split 50-50 either way, I guess, Nick. Got any inside info on that one? Are you in the dark like the rest of us?
I reckon Kelly would know, and he'd have a good idea of what he wants to do, and he's not going to tell anyone until he's dealt with this year. You know, I mean, you wouldn't, would you?
He's got the best poker face in the world. No, you definitely wouldn't want to let everyone know what you're thinking after that. But you'd think if he can win 8, why not go for double figures?
You could do. Or you could think, oh man, I'll just go around again, and these guys are just going to hate me so badly they'll just eat me for breakfast, and then I'll just feel like a kind of a chump.
But if he were to drop off tour with the world title under his belt, wouldn't that be a big question? I think that I'd hate him more for not letting him get beat. I don't know, if I was Andy, I think I'd want to win my title back and then let him retire.
Oh yeah, I'm
or
sure.
Or if you're Taj or Mick or Parco as well.
Yeah. Give me another shot at him, basically.
Definitely. And Kelly, like a fine wine, just getting better and better with age. It's a horrible cliche, but definitely one that fits the situation.
Yeah, you had to come clean with that one, Marlon. I understand. It's okay, man.
Hey,
don't feel weird about it.
Now, Nick Carroll's dictionary word of the day. We've had serendipity and insipid. What's your one that's going to send everyone running for their...
Okay, well, I thought long and hard.
Unabridged.
I thought long and hard about this, and I think the word today is disproportionate. There is a disproportionate amount of interest in Kelly's heats. Okay,
very good.
The surf has been very disproportionate today in the way it's scattered itself through the... Remember, the first heat was just total rubbish, and guys were having to, catch the reforms to just stay in the right spot,
exactly.
But now it's like throating at 6 feet, just roaring around the corner at Mundaka, so that's grossly disproportionate.
So the first person out there listening to us that can send us in the definition of disproportionate, here's Kelly. We'll get back to that afterwards.
That's right, Kelly up and off the top of that wave, a classic floater manoeuvre. Guys have been doing this on their backhand all day, and he goes for 3 in a row. Really nice. Gets around this section for a last pop, and then out and riding outside him. Cory Arrambide goes up, off the top, and that wave gets away from Cory. So, Kelly, I think really pretty much putting the mockers on that heat right there.
Yeah, a minute and 30 left. He's looking to replace a 5-3-3 to extend his lead and put Cory into a combo situation, and I think there's a good possibility that he's done just that.
Yeah, I reckon Kelly's pretty much just short of a victory now in this heat, and I think he's actually going to. He's saying, well, what do you want to do, mate? Do you want to go at the back or what? And Kelly's going, just take me out, and then we'll have a little think about it. There's a minute remaining. There's probably going to be another nice set. Whether or not he's able to get himself back in position for it is another question that,
Well, with Uncle Elks driving the jet ski.
Oh,
good old
man.
Froth.
Oh, man.
He could get out there if he wanted to. There's the other half of Cory's board. No, it looks like it's just a little victory lap back to the channel for Kelly Slater with our 3-time world number 2 and 3-time world masters champion Gary Elkerton on the jet ski assist. 35 seconds remaining. 8 points for the last ride of Kelly Slater. So Cory now needing 15.18, a combination of 2 wave scores with 25 seconds remaining. I think, Nick, we can say that the fat lady is now striking up the first notes.
Oh, yeah.
Of her au revoir operetta to Cory Arrambide. Short but sweet for a 16-year-old. Hey, I think you put on a good show.
Hey, man, you'd be stoked. Just a couple of seconds left now in that heat, and Kelly Slater moving through into round
That's
number
it.
3. He'll be taking the first seeded position, heat number